What's good, y'all? And I just wanted to talk about like what's going on for as like Epstein's files. Very brief. And I'm also going to be talking about how I feel about Trump overall. But I will be very honest because I got some new information last night about him. So, am I happy about the information that I got? I had to literally come to oneself and actually think to myself, why? Because the person that I heard the information from was like, you know, she basically said, so I'll put it right here. She basically said something and it didn't trigger me, but it made me go into myself and be like, yo, I hate this motherfucker. Like, deep down inside, why do I feel some type of way about this man? Where it all started, how it all started. So, I'll be talking about that as well. But I want to give a shout out to all the celebrities that have literally spoke out. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. And God appreciates y'all. Mostly God appreciates y'all. I don't know if you ever saw like one of my other videos, but I'm going to constantly keep telling y'all this. There's no such thing about selling your soul. You cannot sell your soul. And I want to keep stressing that to y'all because y'all are being up under manipulation when it comes down to that. If I had to say what y'all are selling, it wouldn't definitely be y'all soul. Because some of y'all that I've thought and I deemed and I've been like, because I'm a conspiracy theorist. And some of y'all have. I see y'all, with the situations that is going on right now, I definitely see the ones that have how can I say? You still have the light within you. Even though if you feel like your situation is full of darkness, whatever the case may be, I want you to know that it is not all lost. Your soul was never sold. Okay? When it comes down to what you sold, I would say it would be your flesh. Your flesh is what you sold. You didn't sell your soul, you sold your flesh. It's a totally difference. Everything down here, it's different from the spiritual realm, meaning if y'all feel like y'all sold your soul, y'all didn't. Everything from the spiritual realm is different down here. So if you sold your flesh down here, of course you're going to have karma. Of course, you're going to have to pay debts. Of course, you're going to have to do that. But that's in the spiritual realm. You can always go back and change things. So, I just wanted to get that out there. When it comes down to the Epstein's files, I'm excited for about everything that comes in the Epstein's files. I've seen that... I got a little dime, keep my ADHD, But yeah, I saw that Bill Clinton, the Clintons, they're speaking. They're about to speak. They're speaking up under pretty much the oath of the Epstein files. So I'm excited for that. My thing is that I want y'all to tell everything y'all possibly can. Do a know-all book on a know-all situation. Tell it. This is your time to speak. This is your time to be honest. This is your time. Everybody wants to be heroes. But I will say this. You would be a hero in God's eye. Forget all these people down here. You would be a hero in God's eye. Just tell the truth and tell, even about the stuff you did. Tell the truth. Be brutally honest with every situation, because this is going to break Trump out of doing the stuff that he's doing now. But this will keep Trump out of everything that he is doing. And yeah, I'm just very happy about everything when it comes down to that. I'm glad that everything's getting out what needs to get out. In certain situations, I deeply feel like when it comes down to the Epstein's files, like they're showing us everything at this point. They're showing us what they've done in the dark. Well, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly, some things is true, some things is false. But at this point, you know what's true and false. We know what is true and false. And I also want to talk about real quick when it comes down to the people that comes up in the Epstein files. Lizzo was talking, and she was talking about, like, she was basically taking up for Jay-Z. I feel like there's nothing wrong with her doing that. There's nothing wrong with her. She's the only one that's done that right now, but there's nothing wrong with her doing that. I do deeply understand, because there's some people that I feel like I've taken up for or want to take up for because I see the light in them. Beyonce is definitely one of them. I definitely do feel like she was allegedly, this is my opinion, I feel like she was brought into some stuff that she was just born to be bred in, if that makes sense. I'll go more into, like, I know Beyonce is like connected to Jay-Z, but only because she's married to him, I just feel like I have to make a separate video for Beyonce, because Beyonce and never mind, I'm not gonna see, this is what I mean. Just know that Beyonce and Solange and another artist, I feel very deep. I have to make their separate videos to theyself by theyself for a reason. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep it like that. But yeah, I do feel like in my own way, she definitely was brought on to some things that she didn't think she was gonna go through or wanted to go through, or you know what I'm saying? Sometimes life hands you cards and you have to deal them, and that's where I feel like Beyonce had to go through or is going through. The Epstein files, when it comes down to people, like I said, when it comes down to people getting brought up in them, I also feel like, we cannot be biased about nobody. If you're biased about one person on the Epstein files and another person come up, you cannot be biased. That's what I have to say to Lizzo and what she said. I said Lizzo. I saw her country, but yeah, like, you can't be biased. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was getting on, and that 50 Cent my boy, but I still got on that. Like, like I said, I'm stepping on next. And if you ain't down for the right, then what are you down for? You get what I'm saying? Now, I have to see a different perspective as of how, because I'm the type of person, I'll better be glad I ain't God. Anywho, yeah, I'll slam judgment real quick on people. I ain't got no hesitation. I don't waste no time. I ain't none of that with me. When I know, like, even if they didn't do some of the things that they didn't do, they did certain things, is what I'm saying. Allegedly. But yeah, that's what I have to say about her and that whole situation when it comes down to taking up for Jay-Z. You can't be biased. Anybody that comes up in that file is for a reason. Just be glad you're not coming in that file, and be glad that the situations that you had on your... Because, like, you got to think of it like this. Did any of them people that you're taking up for, I'm talking to Lizzo, did they ever come to your defense? You were by yourself, defending for yourself. Now, whatever they did for you behind closed doors, okay, but they didn't do it publicly. So, my question is to you is, you know, what are you going to tell God when he gets you to that point and he is asking you questions about the situation that is at hand? And if he's asking you any questions like how I'm asking you, then you would have to answer them. You ain't got to answer me, but you do got to answer him. Now, that's exactly how I feel, man, when it comes down to what Lizzo said. You know, it ain't nothing. I understand why she takes up for him. That might be her boy. He might. Like I said, I took up for Chris Tucker and I took up for Michael Jackson and I took up for, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't biased. You get what I'm saying? Like, maybe this is what it is, and maybe da-da-da. They could be framing, you know what I'm saying? They could be framing. That's what I always let it be known. So even with Jay-Z, I will put him in that category, but I will not act like he's not in there. I will not, and ain't none of us distracted. We know exactly what is going on. At least I do. So, yeah, that's exactly how I feel about that situation. Now, when it comes down to Trump and what I recently heard about him from Baby Girl, and I love her. I love her. I seen her. I think I like reposted some things on her for TikTok. She's on TikTok. She's on YouTube. So yeah, she booming, and like it was crazy how I saw the message because I had just woke up and the angel messages was back to back. Like it was like more accord to where like, okay, this is goes with this. Let's go with that. Boom. I wake up and I'm like hearing news about Trump and I'm like, okay, you know, with the situation about, you know, whether or not have he been on the Epstein's Island and stuff like that, and whether or not if he is racist, and whether or not if he's there's other different subjects that I'm going to talk about, but yeah. All right, so when it comes down to how I feel about Trump, and when it comes down to just in general how he's doing America and how he is responding to other people, a hit dog gonna holler, and he always hollering. I will say this: if he did not, because all this is alleged, or he did not do anything when it comes down to being a pedo, you know, I do believe the woman when the woman said that he was presented with stuff. He was presented with people. But then again, you cannot cancel out the other women that said that he done something to him. Because mind you, they might have not been minors. This is where I say that you have to be very, very, very thoughtful and very careful, which in my mind you, this is all alleged. And mind you, I'm going to keep saying this throughout this whole video. All this is alleged. But my first thing is like, okay, so that made that clear, you know? Okay, but that don't exclude what you may have done to other women that may have had not been a minor. Still counts. That's for one. Still counts. When it comes down to how he may feel or what, like when it comes down to ICE, I feel like the whole situation with ICE is definitely about to die down. They about to crack some type of rules on them, whether they like it or not, because you can't have basically psychopaths. Because if you did, these are people that's not even legible to be or to even do this job. So they're gonna have rules. And I will say that it's going to come very soon. Very soon. Now it's going to take some time, but what I'm saying, it will be soon. When it comes down to how I'm feeling when I feel like Trump's ego is a lot of what's going to be his ego and his mindset is going to be what destroys him at the end. And I will say, and his legacy. Because if you look back on his legacy, yeah, he was the richest man, blah, blah, blah. But he also had his faults before he was the president, which them things don't change. And he's trying to prove to himself that he is not a failure. But what I'm telling you is that, and I had to really dive into deep feelings for somebody that ain't never struggled in their life, ain't never had to go through some of the other things that other people have gone through. I really had to dive deep into this man and understand that this man comes from rich. He comes from a sort of type of speak of silver spoon in the mouth, golden spoon in the mouth. He would know nothing about nothing, because everything was always given unto him. So when you say no to a person like him, he's going to do. Mind you, he's a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. I know. He's just a different Gemini. I'm an original one. I'm gonna look up his cusp. But I know his big. I looked up his big three once before. I know he got Sag in his big three, Gemini. Well, first Gemini, he got some Sag in him somewhere, and he got something else in him. Something else in him as his big three. So, if you look at this man's big three, you can understand why he is the way he is. So, with that being said, we are two different Geminis, and I can see right where he's going to crash. Right where he wanted his legacy to be is going to go. Like I said earlier in the video, everybody wants to be a hero, but they don't understand the morals. I feel like they don't understand the morals, and they don't understand the work that you have to be and do to become that hero mentality. And when you're doing nothing but wrong, you're ordering your people to do hurtful things to the people that's supposed to be your people. You think any good's supposed to come from that? You think your legacy is supposed to succeed from that? You're stupid. Low in the mindset to even think that. The fact that you feel like that you don't want your legacy to even crumble, it is crumbling before your eyes. Everything is coming at you at once. And you wonder why. Think about all the negativity that you put into the world. And you think you're supposed to be getting good. Universe, God, don't believe in that. And I had to literally go within to make this video. Do I feel like Trump's ever going to change? No. Too far in. Got too many people in. That does not defeat the purpose that you were friends with him. That does not defeat the purpose that you have emails with him. You conversated with him. You were a friend of him, allegedly. that don't defeat the purpose. And you know that. You know that. Deep down inside. Deep down inside, you know that you do not want to disown Batman. Same as you don't want to disown Elon Musk, but for whatever reason why you and Elon Musk got a de-slinging competition going on. I don't know what's going on with you two, but I saw that you got him rated. Okay. How does that help you? Elon Musk could have been told a lot. Kind of wish he would have. He told what he wanted to tell, but he could have told a lot. And this is coming from somebody that actually, before I knew what Elon Musk was, like before I found out all the stuff that I found out about Elon Musk, this is somebody I actually wanted to work with. Mind you, this is the type of mindset that my mind is on. Mind you, Elon Musk is somebody that I wanted to work with. Let that soak in. So, how does that help you? Because you know he got some things on you, or what's the point of rating him? You got to think about that. But yeah, all this is alleged, you know. All of it's alleged. I pretty much just coming and speaking my truth about how I feel about the whole situation, about all that I just talked about, you know. That's it, y'all. That's it. And I hope y'all have a good morning.